If you guys cannot tell by my table here, today's video, I'm going to be going through everything Ruroc offers motorcycle helmet-wise to help you guys decide which one of these helmets might be right for you. Let's not waste any time and let's get straight into this thing. Now guys, this video is not sponsored, but as many of you guys know, I am a sponsored rider from Ruroc, and basically what that means is they pay me to wear their helmets in my videos. They didn't ask me to make this video, they have no say in this video. I just wanted to make this comparison video to help you guys understand which one of these helmets might be right for you if you're looking into a Ruroc helmet. They all look kind of similar and it can be kind of hard to understand which one fits your needs the best, but I wanted to put that out there. You know what? Let's call this video sponsored by my buddies over at Cardo. Because if you're looking into a helmet, you probably need a Bluetooth device to go with it. If you want to listen to music, talk with your buddies, and have the absolute best technology there is, use my link for your Cardo. It is absolutely fantastic. I literally could not ride without my Cardo. So Cardo, thank you for sponsoring this video. Impromptu. All right, let's get into the breakdown. All right, so first up, let's lay out the entire range from least cost to the most expensive. First off, we have the Atlas 4.0 Street coming in at $279. From there, we jump up to the Atlas 4.0 Carbon coming in at $475. Then we have their newest helmet, the EOS, coming in at $499. And then finally, their most expensive helmet, the Atlas 4.0 Track, coming in at $679. Now guys, this entire video is not going to be me standing behind this table telling you guys specs. I just want to hit a baseline of information so that later in the video when I go for a ride in each of these helmets and I give you guys my opinions, we all kind of have a similar understanding of what each helmet is offering. So all four of helmets here have a lot of similarities, so we're going to hit on those real fast. First off, safety-wise, all helmets meet DOT, which doesn't really matter, but they importantly meet ECE 2206 safety ratings on all of these helmets. The Track has a little more of that. Again, we'll talk about that later in the video. Next up, all helmets are compatible with Ruroc's shockwave system, which is their integrated music thing that pops into the helmet. I will note that all of the helmets that use the exact same shockwave except for the EOS, again, we'll touch on that later in the video when we're talking specifically about the EOS. Next up, they all have a 215-degree field of view, which is just a really wide field of view. The helmet doesn't really get into your vision, and they all ship with a clear visor. So yeah, as you guys can see, a lot of similarities. Now let's break down each helmet individually so I can tell you guys more about each and how they're unique. Alrighty guys, let's start out with the Atlas 4.0 Street. Now this is going to be the cheapest helmet in Ruroc's lineup. It's going to come with a fiberglass shell. It has a double D-ring here at the bottom, which is similar to most helmets you guys would see. Weight-wise, it's coming in at 1550, which is the middle ground for weight of all the helmets in Ruroc's range. And as a note, this is the only helmet in the range that does not come with the Rheon headliner, unlike all the other helmets that we're going to be talking about. Alrighty guys, next up, let's talk about the Atlas 4.0 Carbon, specifically my Ironman model here. Now, as the name implies, the shell construction on this helmet is going to be made out of carbon fiber. Surprisingly, even though it's made out of that carbon fiber, which we know to be a very light material, this is actually the heaviest helmet in the range, coming in at 1,600 grams. I will say that all of these helmets feel incredibly light. This is just the heaviest of the light, if that makes sense. Now, as far as strapping goes, this helmet is going to feature that fidlock buckle where you just pull this red tab and the whole buckle comes undone. It is so much easier to take your helmet on and off while still giving you that strength and stability that you need. Long are the days that I used to do D-ring stuff. Haven't done it in a while. I love the fidlock buckle. Now, this helmet is going to have the Rheon headliner, and if you guys have never heard of Rheon, it's It's a material that stays soft and cushy while you're riding around, but the second you go to take an impact, which hopefully you don't, that material, when pressured, actually hardens up, and it's there to soak up the damage that normally would go straight to your head. So basically, it's an added safety feature inside of the helmet. The Atlas 4.0 Carbon is going to come with that, and additionally, when you purchase this helmet, it will come with a tinted visor. All right guys, next up, let's talk about the EOS, which is gonna be the newest helmet in Ruroc's line. Now, if you look on paper, the EOS and the Atlas 4.0 Carbon are gonna be really similar, at least on paper. They both have the Rheon headliner, they both have the same safety ratings, they have the fidlock buckles, and they both ship with tinted visors. But the EOS is pretty different in some key ways from the Atlas 4.0 Carbon that we're gonna go over. First off, it's 100 grams lighter than the Atlas 4.0 Carbon, making it the lightest helmet in Ruroc's range at around 1,500 grams. The shell is going to be comprised of a quad composite of carbon fiber, nylon, fiberglass, and Kevlar. All EOS helmets are also going to ship with a pin lock insert for the visor. If you guys don't know what a pin lock insert is, it's basically this clear film you put on the underside of the visor, and it basically stops it from fogging up, especially if you're riding in colder temperatures. They are amazing. If you've never ridden with a pin lock, I highly recommend it. I could not ride in the wintertime without a pin lock visor. Now, the final and biggest change that the EOS helmet is going to have over the Atlas 4.0 Carbon is the external upgrades. So first things you're going to notice, the upgraded vents here and in the front, they look a lot cleaner instead of all the little holes like the Atlas 4.0 has. The visor mechanism is going to be different as well. You're going to notice there's no little tool here on the side. You simply pull the visor up and you can open it there. You don't need tools for any of these visors, but this one is a lot more streamlined. And then the overall shape is going to be slightly different. You can see these little channels here on the top of the helmet. They basically redesigned it with keeping its really aggressive look, which I feel like is what Ruroc is known for, but they made it more aerodynamic and streamlined, and I actually like the look of the EOS the most. You'll also notice this little vent area here, while we still have that aggressive little cheek area, it doesn't go into one of these black vents where it would like pocket air. Finally, here on the side, instead of having the shockwave system here at the bottom, they've now integrated it into the side, and you just pop that out and the shockwave can go there, and then the battery will go on the other side. So it is a lot more integrated, it's a lot more streamlined, and that's kind of the whole vibe that they were going for with the EOS. Then of course, with those shockwave changes, they've changed the rear spoiler a little bit as well. All right guys, and finally, we have the big dog in the group, the Atlas 4.0 track. Now the track's gonna be based on the Carbon model, but it is gonna have some key differences in the areas of aerodynamics and safety, and that's what you're paying for in this one. First off, weight-wise, it's gonna be slightly lighter than the Carbon at 1550. Ironically, it's gonna be the exact same weight at the street, but whatever. Next up, it is gonna have that double D-ring instead of the fidlock buckle, and because of that, it is gonna allow it to have ACU Gold safety certification. If you guys have never heard of that, it's a safety organization in the UK that allows helmets to be used for competitive use, specifically track days in the UK. So basically, it gets a higher safety rating. Next up, as far as aerodynamics, you're gonna see the benefits of this helmet in a few different ways. First off, if we look here on the side, instead of having the little grills like on the Carbon model, we're gonna have a different style plate where air can just run off of that and not pocket that air and kind of cause any disturbances. Next up, if you look at the top of the visor, we're gonna have this little rubber mechanism that helps seal the visor to the helmet and allows air to flow directly over it. And then the biggest deal with the aerodynamics, if I show you guys a side profile, you're gonna notice that extra large rear spoiler. Now I know this looks kind of crazy and you would not think it works as well, but as I will show you guys later in the video, that is a massive deal, especially when you're going really high speeds. Guys, you freaking made it past all the talking head bull crap. Awesome. So let's jump on the bike, let's go for a ride, and I'll tell you guys who I think each of these helmets is gonna be best for, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. So guys, when it comes to the street model, it's actually the helmet that I've put the least amount of miles in. So this is kind of like my first little ride with it, and I gotta say, for a helmet that's $200 less than the Carbon,
This thing feels fantastic. I'm actually really impressed with this. Getting it on, it was a little tight, just like every one of my medium-sized Rurocs is. But now that I've got it on, it actually feels really good. The padding is almost identical, if not slightly lower quality than the Atlas 4.0, or the carbon model, and I really like that helmet, so I have no problem with the paddings. They might even be the same paddings. It's not really, I can't really tell a big difference. I will say, putting this helmet on, I'm surprised how light these Rurocs are, man. Even the carbon fiber. And when I put this helmet on, you know, I don't have anything attached to it. I've got my little makeshift motovlog set up on this one, and I'm just shocked at how light these helmets are, man. Even the fiberglass model is incredibly light, you know, before I rig all my stuff up to it. I don't have a Cardo on this one or anything like that. Overall, though, the build quality seems really nice. The visor mechanism gets a really solid slot in, and the visor on this one is actually better, in my opinion, than the EOS helmet, and we'll talk about that later. So overall, for $200 less, like, this is a sub $300 helmet, and so far it's fantastic. I don't love the D-ring, but that's kind of a personal preference. I've had a lot of you guys say you don't trust that magnetic fidlock buckle, but I just love that. So I hated how long it takes to get this helmet buckled up and everything, but overall, for a sub $300 helmet, this thing's great. Probably the best deal that Ruroc makes is this helmet right here. One thing I will note with this helmet, and it's similar with the carbon and the track, is the Ruroc helmets have like a smaller entry point into the helmet, so they might feel a little tight getting on, but then when you get it on your head, they normally feel like they should. At least that's if you have the right size for you. So, you know, this being the first time I wore this helmet, getting on got a little tight, and then my head popped in the helmet, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this is how it should feel. Overall, though, I really like this helmet, especially considering the price. So, guys, I got to be honest. When I went home and I swapped out the Street for the carbon helmet, I could tell instantly a difference in the padding. I stand behind the fact that I think the Street padding is great, especially for that price, but there is definitely a premium feeling padding inside the carbon that the Street does not have. It was that back and forth trying it on, like taking one off and putting the other one on. Both brand new, haven't ridden in either of them. I could very much tell a difference. So guys, I'm out here doing something I told you I never would do, and that is ride with my Iron Man version of my Atlas 4.0 carbon. But guys, this is the helmet that I have spent the majority of my time in Rurocs in. For a while, I was my motovlogging helmet was the Stormtrooper helmet you guys will see me in a ton of times. Is that it's not only the helmet that I've spent the most time in, it's also the helmet that I have wrecked in. Overall, guys, if you couldn't tell, I am a fan of the Atlas 4.0 carbon. That's why I wore one for so long until the EOS came out. I love the visor mechanism, absolutely love the fidlock buckle, and this is a solid helmet that I can very much recommend to you guys. Also, the graphics options that they have for this helmet are nuts, and being a visual guy, I love it. So for you guys that aren't super familiar with the channel, the EOS is the current helmet that I use as my motovlogging helmet. It's the helmet I'm wearing in all the videos. I've got the white one on today because I wanted to compare all the helmets in as stock form as possible. And obviously my Mando helmet has the stuff attached to the front, so that's why we're on the, I believe they call it Ghost model today. So the EOS is currently my favorite helmet of Ruroc's lineup, and when you guys, if you put them all on back to back like I just did, you're going to notice the main thing about the EOS is that it is the most comfortable helmet that Ruroc makes in their lineup, period. And something you guys might have also noticed from that front camera is that the EOS helmet, even though all of the helmets I'm testing for you guys today are the medium size, the EOS is actually the biggest on the exterior of the helmet compared to the other Ruroc models. And having worn them all back to back, I can notice a little bit of how this helmet is a little bigger than the other ones. But one of the things I really like about that is that inside of the helmet, there is a lot more space. As an example, On the Carbon Atlas 4 model, if I poked my lips out as far as I could poke them, I could touch the front of the padding on the inside of the helmet. I am not able to do that with this EOS model. There is too much space in between, and that's a good thing, or at least it is to me. I like having all of that extra space and not having to worry about anything. So I am definitely a fan of that. And I also, I really noticed how much more comfortable the EOS is over the Atlas 4.0. Not necessarily that the Atlas 4.0 is uncomfortable. I had no problems with it at all. But I really love the way this helmet feels. It's just, it's tight in the way it needs to be. And I just prefer it a lot more, honestly. I will note, though, that the visor mechanism on the EOS, I am not as big of a fan of as the Atlas 4. I liked the click points that the Atlas 4 had, and the EOS just doesn't seem to have as, we'll call it well-defined clicks on the visor. It's nothing that there's an issue with. I've never had a problem with it, but the Atlas 4.0 just felt like it locked in better, and I liked the angles that it could get to. So I do prefer that, although I do prefer the EOS for the venting. The vent click, especially at the top here, like, it is a substantial click when I click it in and up and down. So I do appreciate that. I like that over the little tiny toggle back and forth. Overall, EOS is by far my favorite helmet in the lineup. One of the things I will note with the visor is I do like the slim, no external piece that the EOS has. It's a lot more streamlined. I just want the clicks to get figured out a little better. All right, let's talk about the big dog, the track. So yeah, most expensive helmet in Ruroc's range, and based on the Atlas 4 Carbon. So the times I've ridden in this helmet, it's always been specialty, right? I almost always have my tracksuit on when I have this helmet on, so I almost feel weird riding around it with a regular like street gear on. But guys, the track experience I've had on this helmet, I've done about, I would say 5 to 6 track, it's not track days, right? It's videos I've done at the track. But I've done about 5 or 6 of them with the track on, and I love this helmet. The only times you really need it is when you're going on a track day or when you plan on riding hard, or if you go on the highway a lot. The stability of that back spoiler will actually help you a lot. So if you're doing a lot of highway miles, that definitely could come in handy. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Atlas 4.0 Carbon, you'll know that that helmet whistles a little bit, like when you open the visor up and when this little pocket here catches wind. So that helmet is known for whistling a little bit. That's another thing that the track does a lot better, is it handles high-speed wind noise quite a bit better than the Carbon. But yeah, guys, you are going to notice less whistling in this helmet, and I do feel like Ruroc did a good job of making their track helmet based on the Atlas Carbon, Atlas 4 Carbon, because like I was telling you guys in the EOS section, the EOS is a bit bigger of a helmet, so I do think it was a good choice to go with the track helmet of the Carbon because it is a smaller helmet and it allows you to more easily move around. And not that the EOS is hard to move around, but when you're going high speed, every little bit is going to really make a difference. And this helmet's been fantastic for that. I was honestly kind of surprised with the rear spoiler situation. I truly did not think just plastic being off the back of the helmet a little farther was going to do anything. And you get on a track and you start going down like the back straight and you're tucked in and you're just trying to go as fast as you can. Having your head not bobble around is super helpful. Same thing here on the highway. There's lots of wind, and having that added stability is really nice. So overall, I'm a huge fan of the track. I hate how much it costs, but I think that kind of goes for it is what it is. I also don't like the D-ring part of the helmet, but you know, we look past some stuff for safety and all that kind of stuff. But overall, for track riding, love this helmet. But let's talk about who is best for each helmet. So if you are budget conscious, the street helmet is far better than it has any right to be, and you're just missing out on some of the nice to haves. But overall, I think that's a phenomenal helmet. So if you're looking for something, you just want the look of a Ruroc helmet, but you don't have the budget for the regular stuff, I think the street helmet is an awesome option. All right, next up, if you want the most comfortable helmet that Ruroc offers, and you want the newest thing and all the plushness, you are definitely going to be needing to go with the EOS. That is my personal favorite as of right now. It's the most comfortable. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I could and do a lot of the time wear that helmet all day long with absolutely no problem. Love that thing very much. Next up, if you want the good quality, but you don't want to have that bigger shell size, and it's important for you to have the smallest shell size possible, for that person, the Atlas 4.0 is going to be the one you want to go with. It's almost as good as the EOS, and it isn't as big physically, so it's more, you know, cut to your head. You're just not going to have as much free space between your face and the helmet. So if that's what you're looking for, then that helmet is also fantastic, and I crashed in one, so I can vouch for the safety. Okay, finally, the helmet I have on, the track. This is the right helmet for you. You definitely got to have a little bit more budget because it is, you know, quite a bit more expensive. But if aerodynamics are the most important thing for you, and you do a lot of track days or high-speed riding, and you need that aerodynamic stability, then this helmet is going to match your style much better than everything else on the market. All of the helmets do a great job of being super light and not making your head feel weighted down, but the stability that this helmet offers is fantastic. All right, so guys, I think that wraps up my thoughts on all the helmets. Let's cut back to Chase in the garage and wrap this video up.
And my friends, these are all the helmets that Ruroc currently offer on their website. OC, drop a comment down below if you guys have any questions, and I will do my best to answer them with all the information I have since I've been riding in these for quite a while. And do your boy a favor and drop this video a like. I massively appreciate it. You guys know I love you a long time. Anyways, guys, I'll have links for all these helmets in the description down below, but if none of these are right for you, go buy some other helmet. There's tons of other helmet companies that make fantastic stuff. So you guys just buy the right helmet for you, okay? That's all I care about. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Later. Oh, go ride safe. Forgot to say that. In a helmet, please, for the love of God.